What's up, fellow fanatics? I'm the Penn Fanatic here, and hopefully we have some Penn State fanatics in this video watching. Hello to all you Penn State people. Where have you been? Seems like everywhere I go, in the chats, in the comments of any video, other than a Penn State video, there are no Penn State fans. So I'd like to see you down in the comments after this video. Tell me what you think about your team, because I happen to have a highly rated opinion of your team going into 2025. This is the National Title Contender Series that I am going to do. I did one last year, and actually I did I always do a National Title Contender Series, and then I do my predictions, and I had my cousin Adam was on, and he loved you guys last year, picked you to win the national championship. I think you can this year. But damn, you were close last year. He was close on you. They went 11-2 in the regular season. Now, with the new 12-team playoff and more expansion, are conference championship games now just considered regular season games? Or are they postseason games? Because if it's the case, Penn State went 11-1 in the regular season, lost that game to Oregon. I just say they went 11-2 in the regular season. I think that championship game is, with the expanded playoff, is less meaningful, and which is still within conference. But Penn State went 13-3 overall after making the inaugural 12-team playoff, and then making the college football playoff semifinal before losing to Notre Dame. So Penn State beat the likes of Illinois, at USC last year, SMU, and Boise State last season. Those are the teams that had a pulse that Penn State beat. But the Nittany Lions couldn't beat Ohio State yet again at home, or Oregon in the Big Ten title. So is this the same old story for Penn State in 2025? You avoid Michigan again this season. So Penn State has maybe the most production returning, and that is what everyone is salivating over, including myself, maybe in the country. Starting with their quarterback, Drew Aller, who is now in year 4 at Penn State. His stats are impressive for a team that wants to emphasize defense and has subpar wide receivers. It's amazing what he did without wide receivers last year. Sound familiar, Michigan? Yeah, well, we didn't have a quarterback either. Eller was 60% for 2,631 yards 2 years ago. 2 years ago. And that was an 6.8 average per completion. He had 25 TDs and just 2 interceptions. Fast forward to this past season, and he improved from 6.8 average yards per completion to 8.4. So there is improvement. Also, this past season, he had 262 attempts for 67% for 3,327 yards. He had a few more interceptions this past season than the year prior with 8, but he still had 24 touchdowns that he passed. So does Aller have sufficient enough wide receivers and tight ends with the departure of Tyler Warren? We all know he was the second tight end drafted to Colston Loveland, Michigan's tight end. I gotta get a dig in there. I'm a Michigan fan, but Penn State brought in 2 senior wide receivers in the transfer portal, in Kyron Hudson and Devontae Ross, and they have a bevy of youngsters that are unmentionable for the moment. but they could grasp the playbook and their abilities sooner than later. Uh, Kyron Hudson had 38 catches for 462 yards for USC last season, a 12.2 average per completion or reception, and 3 receiving touchdowns. Devontae Ross also came from USC, or no, from the transfer portal from Troy. He had a nice season for Troy. 76 catches for 1,043 yards. Yes, against lesser competition. But that's a 13.7 average per reception and 11 receiving touchdowns. At tight end, it looks like it's Luke Reynolds with the most upside with 9 catches for 111 yards. But you have to remember that he is replacing a legend and didn't get much opportunity last season. So I expect good things from him. But if not him, then the more experienced Khalil Dunkins will take the role at tight end. Maybe they go dual tight end a lot of time. Who had 14 catches for 122 yards and 2 touchdowns last season. I expect tight end to be Aller's friend once again this upcoming season. We'll see what the receivers can do on the outside. All of the pass attack depends on offensive line, of course. So does the run game, where Penn State brings back their 2 best running backs from last season. Running back Nick Singleton is back after having 172 carries for 1,099 yards and 12 rushing touchdowns. He had a 6.4 average per rush, which is insane. That's a big number, especially in the Big Ten. A 3-year veteran with 2 1,000-yard seasons and a 752-yard season. So he's a receiver as well with 41 catches last year for 375 yards. That's a 9.1 average per reception for Nick Singleton and 5 receiving touchdowns. If that's not enough, running back 2 is back as well in Katron Allen. Allen had 220 carries for 1,108 yards last season, a 5-yard average, and 8 rushing touchdowns. He also had 2 receiving touchdowns out of the backfield. So, like many teams with talent on the offensive side, it comes down to offensive line and defense that makes or breaks their season. Just ask Ohio State. They came through last year. You let them beat you. What's going on there? We'll start with offensive line, though. Penn State's O-line is old and experienced. Left tackle Drew Shelton is a senior. He is 6'5" and 306 pounds. I expect him to be the left tackle. Left guard, I call him Ovega because, his name is hard to pronounce, so Ovega is easy for me. Ione is a redshirt junior. 6'4", 346 pounds. He started all 16 games last year for Penn State. At center, Nick Dawkins is a redshirt senior. 6'4", 298 pounds. He started all 16 games for Penn State as well. Right guard, Cooper Cousins, is just a sophomore, but he is 6'6" and 315 pounds. And he appeared in all 16 games, as well as right tackle Nolan Rucci, who is a redshirt senior. 6'8", 317 pounds. He started 6 times last season and appeared in all 16 games. So all of that firepower that Penn State is going to have actually has a line that could allow it to happen. So Penn State's defense, it should be great under new leadership from Ohio State at defensive coordinator and Jim Knowles. Ohio State is a must-win for Penn State, but I will get to that in the schedule portion of this video in a little bit. But guys like Danny Dennis Sutton, Zariah Fisher, Zane Durant are back on the defensive line. Dominic DeLucia, Tony Rojas are back at linebacker. Zakee Wheatley, Elliott Washington, A.J. Harris, Zion Tracy, and Jawan Lane are formidable on the back end. So let's start on the defensive line. Dennis Sutton had 42 tackles last season, 8.5 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, 1 fumble recovery, and an interception last season. Guy's a beast. Zariah Fisher sat out last year, but in 2023 as a youngster, he had 3.5 sacks. So hopefully he is going to be back for you guys and can contribute and have a good trajectory going forward, which I think he will. At defensive tackle, Zane Durant had 42 tackles and 3 sacks last season. At linebacker, Dominic DeLuca had 40 tackles and 3 interceptions, and Tony Rojas had 58 tackles, 1 sack, 3 interceptions, and 4 pass breakups. Both linebackers scored a touchdown for Penn State's defense last season as well, so they have home run capability. Zakee Wheatley is back with 95 tackles, 1 sack, 3 interceptions, and 4 pass breakups. The other safety, Jawan Lane, as a freshman, had experience in this defense with 15 tackles and a pick, along with 3 pass breakups last season. At corner, Elliott Washington had 26 tackles and an interception as a sophomore. A.J. Harris had 48 tackles and a pick and 5 pass breakups as a sophomore. And then at nickelback, Zion Tracy had 35 tackles, a sack, 2 interceptions, and a defensive score as a sophomore for this defense. So Jim Knowles is going to be licking his lips for Penn State's defense. Now, the line was 10.5, the win total, for Penn State's season. Go through the schedule and tell you what I have as of right now. Predictions come later, but 10.5, I think Penn State goes on the over yet again for this upcoming season because, they're going to start off with 3 easy cupcakes. Nevada, FIU. Nevada went 3-10 last year. FIU was 4-8. And then they have Villanova, who's an FCS school. So them are 3 straight non-conference wins before they have a bye, before they play and start their Big Ten schedule. And it starts on September 27th, actually, with Oregon. And Oregon went 13-1 last year, and Oregon beat Penn State in the Big Ten championship game. Now Penn State gets them at home. I expect a win out of James Franklin here. He has to. He has to beat Oregon after a bye at home, revenging the loss from last season in the Big Ten title game to have any kind of credibility of being able to win big games, right? So James Franklin has to beat Oregon at home. Oregon is losing some people, but I expect Oregon to be maybe a national title contender as well. You'll have to let me know. Who do you think is going to be national title contenders? Let me know that in the comments as well, because I'm going to have a few of these, just the teams that I think are. So maybe if enough of you persuade me, I'll do a video on your team. But after Oregon, they're at UCLA, who was demonstrable last year, 5-7. They lost a lot. I think that's a win for Penn State as well. Northwestern at home went 4-8. That's a win. At Iowa on October 18th. Iowa went 8-5, but at Iowa is a dangerous game to play there in Kinnick. So I think that is going to be a loss. It's going to be a good game, low, maybe mid-scoring, but defenses are going to show. Offenses are going to do enough, but at home, Iowa, Michigan struggles to win there. So now it's your turn. All right, and then you get your second bye of the season after that. So you get to come home, recoup before you go to Ohio State. And I expect Ohio State to be have a drop off from last year. We'll see what their quarterback situation will look like at this point. It might change my mind, but as of right now, I have you going on the road and beating Ohio State, Ryan Day and company, with their old defensive coordinator in Jim Knowles. That's a win for you. So now you are one loss still at Iowa. I think Indiana at home, they went 11-2, but I don't see them keeping up with that. I expect a win there. At Michigan State, another team program just struggling. That is a win. Nebraska at home. I see improvement for Nebraska this season as well. Good quarterback, Dylan Raiola, but it's at home. It's a win for Penn State because Drew Aller and this defense is going to be rolling at this point. And then at Rutgers, Schiano, never rule them out, but it's a win for your program. So that is 11-1 in the preseason, or in the regular season. During the preseason, I guess, is what I have for Penn State. What do you guys think? Are they national title contender worthy? Let me know. Otherwise, like the video if you did. If you enjoyed it, it's free. Hit the subscribe button because there's going to be more of these leading up to the season. And as I said, predictions will come. I already did a win total video on 21 teams I had in there, I believe, preseason win total. I'm sure they have changed by now because of the betting public and how they are betting, but that's what I had at that time. So go check that video out as well. I might just put it in the cards for you, but hey. Oh, I forgot to let my own Nittany Lion in, my little black cat that I have. Anyway, she would have jumped up on my lap, but I don't know why I brought that. But that was, in my mind, that was going to be another funny joke. Here's my little Nittany Lion. I'm rooting for you guys, other than Michigan. And, that means if you go 11-1, you're going to make the Big Ten championship game. I think that's the only guarantee. I don't know as of right now who the other team is going to be going up against Penn State. Could be Michigan, could be Ohio State, could be Oregon. I think Penn State has the best chance to make it that far, at least. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Like the video, as I said. Subscribe if you have not. It's all free. Comment free. I may respond to you if you are not nasty. And remember to have a great day out there, everybody. We're getting warmer weather now. It's awesome. Tragedies, weather happen. Yeah, I'm going on tangents and stuff, trying to be like a reporter or something stupid. I don't know. Just being real with you. I'm loving the weather in Michigan going forward. Now, Monday is supposed to be 80, almost 90, and I'm not looking forward to that. But I like 70s. I like 68, 69. That's optimal for me. Anyway, football season much colder than that, but I enjoy that as well. Anyway, have a great day, Penn State fans, and go blue, though, if you're watching just because, you like the maize and blue and you want to see the competition that Michigan may have in the Big Ten title.